I was deciding like, okay, am I going to go to acting school? Am I going to go to film school? Am I going to do a writing course? And I'd done a job in the film industry already, which meant that I kind of it put some money in my bank account, and I kind of had this my gap year when I mostly worked, but then was able to sit and prepare for all those things. So I got into a course of each kind, and something just felt like I think acting might be the like I think I might become a I kind of had a sense that I'd become a better maybe writer and filmmaker through life experience and doing other things.
Hmm.
And we're getting in like being an actor in my 20s felt like the good thing is it's also quite communal as well. Like there's something about going like, okay, the other one's going to require a lot of time sitting in a room on my own and being self-disciplined, which acting does require more of that than people think as well. Like most
Yeah.
of the work is done on your own in a room going over the script, and kind of what you do with everyone else is gravy. But it is a more, especially going to drama school, a much more collaborative, explorative, vibrant place than maybe the other courses would have been, and it just felt right at that time. And then you're right, and so still through that time, I'd make some of my own stuff, would still do a bit of writing, but it's different when you always know that if the call comes to go do an acting job, I'm going to take it. And so it's hard to completely get invested in the other thing when you're like, yeah, but I if you got a call to be on some average show, but it's going to be a paycheck and help the resume, I'm going to take that. It's always going to be compromised. And then you're right as well that one of my I still have a little bit of a regret about how many hours of my life I've spent reading bad scripts, because that's what you have to do as an actor, and it
Yeah,
doesn't really
exactly.
go away. And and just that thing of reading scripts, putting down auditions, like reading scripts, learning lines, doing auditions, it just eats so much time, and it's so much of what you read. um and then things were ticking over and doing most of that, and then got Black Sails, the pirate show where I played Long John Silver, and I think a few elements came together on that. One being the kind of cast we had, and it was like the cast you'd get when you're doing a play, which is generally very like well-read, creative, interesting people who you are all now we're all in South Africa. We're generally all put up in these kind of apartments together, and we've got a lot of work to do, but we've also got a bunch of time sitting around. And when you've got people like Toby Stevens, who played Flint, and Toby Schmitz, who played Rackham, who are voracious readers, very well read, very creative in their own right. And both of them, I think, had a different level of education than me, and kind of, I didn't really grow up in a family or went to a kind of school that's that extremely well read,
Mm.
kind of thing. It was like my dad's very smart and has read a lot, but there's a certain kind of culture, I think, that some people get, and especially then people out of, I think in England have a generally a different kind of vibe and culture around art and reading and literature than a lot of people in Australia
It's
might.
a bit more posh.
Yeah, and just it's a thing people do and talk about, and it's part
Yeah.
of their history. And so I was just like, I think, very excited about being around this group, and kind of suddenly it's like, oh, I get to be around these very, yeah, intelligent, generous people who are always going, oh, you should read this, read that. And so I think that kicked that up. And then at the same time, as we got to the end of it, just for me as an actor, it was that job and some other jobs that I'd been able to do during those 4 years I was on Black Sails were just far and above what I expected I might ever get to do as an actor. They were, I was really proud of the work on that. I felt it was something like everyone on Black Sails felt like those roles were ours, and we were part of the creative
Mm.
process, and we got to really give everything to those characters over that time. And so as it was wrapping up, um, that feeling of like I just felt very satisfied as an actor. I guess that actor in me that going like, oh, I hope I get to do this one day, and that was like, I think that was it, and that may or may not be the best thing I ever get to do, and as far as the most satisfying creatively. So it really meant that writer in me who'd been sitting dormant, was almost going like, okay, we've done that. Could we put some time into the other stuff? And I really
Yeah.
felt like, oh yeah, I can now. I can go and spend all day, well, I mean, all day, like weeks and months, focusing on writing, not auditioning. Maybe something really great comes through, but happy to just go like, nah, I'm busy with other stuff for the moment. I want to focus on this. I want to give it all my attention,
Yeah.
and yeah. So that's kind of, I think, having being able to have that acting job that made me satisfied let me give my full focus to that, which was a real joy and something I feel very grateful for.